Last year, a 24-year-old college student turned $5,000 into $180,000 in 8 months. Not from trading, not from meme coins, from using DeFi protocols that most people don't even know exist. While traditional banks were offering 0.5% interest on savings accounts, he was earning 15% to 40% yields on stablecoins, providing liquidity to decentralized exchanges and leveraging his crypto without ever talking to a banker. This is the power of DeFi, and it's completely changing how money works. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button right now because we're on day 5 of our crypto series, and today we're diving into DeFi, Decentralized Finance, one of the most transformative innovations in the entire crypto space. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what DeFi actually is beyond the buzzwords, why it's replacing traditional banking for millions of people, the key platforms and protocols you need to know, the real risks and how to protect yourself, and how to approach DeFi like a smart, informed investor. This isn't theory. This is the future of finance being built right now. Let's get into it. Let's start with the absolute basics. DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance. It's financial infrastructure built on blockchains without intermediaries like banks, brokers, or traditional financial institutions. In traditional finance, every single transaction goes through middlemen. You want to lend money? You go through a bank that takes a cut. You want to trade stocks? You need a broker charging fees and commissions. You want to borrow money? You need approval from a loan officer who checks your credit score, employment history, and collateral. In DeFi, smart contracts on blockchains replace all of those middlemen. Think of it like this. You lend money to someone, a smart contract automatically calculates and pays interest without a bank. You trade assets, a smart contract executes the swap instantly without a broker. You provide liquidity to a trading pool, a smart contract tracks your contribution and pays you rewards automatically. The benefits are absolutely massive. First, 24/7 access. There are no bank hours, no weekends, no holidays, no geographic restrictions. The protocols never close. Second, permissionless participation. Anyone, anywhere in the world with an internet connection can use DeFi. You don't need permission from a bank, a credit check, government approval, or even an ID in most cases. Third, complete transparency. All transactions are recorded on public blockchains. You can verify exactly how much liquidity exists in a pool, what the interest rates are, how many people are using a protocol, and track every single transaction in real time. Fourth, dramatically lower fees. Because there are fewer middlemen taking cuts, transaction costs are often a fraction of traditional finance. Here are real examples. Uniswap enables decentralized trading without order books or centralized exchanges. Aave allows lending and borrowing without banks, and it's processing billions in loans. Compound lets you earn interest on crypto holdings automatically through smart contracts. MakerDAO creates DAI, a decentralized stablecoin backed by crypto collateral, not a central authority. Here's the key insight. DeFi isn't just a financial gimmick or crypto experiment. It's the first truly global, permissionless financial system that anyone can access anywhere, anytime, without asking for permission. Now that we understand what DeFi is, let's talk about why it actually matters and why it's growing so explosively. First, financial inclusion. According to the World Bank, approximately 1.4 billion adults globally are unbanked, meaning they have no access to traditional banking services. DeFi gives financial access to anyone with a smartphone and internet connection. You don't need a bank account, a credit score, proof of income, a permanent address, or government-issued ID. If you can connect to the internet, you can use DeFi. Second, censorship resistance. No government, institution, or authority can freeze your DeFi account, block your transactions, or seize your assets if you maintain proper custody. This is incredibly powerful for people living in countries with unstable economies, hyperinflation, strict capital controls, or authoritarian governments. Third, complete transparency and auditability. Every single transaction in DeFi happens on public blockchains. You can see exactly how much total value is locked in a protocol, what the current interest rates are, how liquidity pools are performing, and verify that the protocol is operating as advertised. Fraud and mismanagement are much harder to hide when everything is transparent and auditable by anyone. Fourth, composability, which people call money Legos. DeFi protocols can interact with each other seamlessly without asking permission. You can deposit USDC into Aave to earn interest, use that interest-bearing token as collateral on another platform, trade the borrowed funds on Uniswap, and do all of this atomically in a single transaction. This composability creates entirely new financial products daily, all powered by code and smart contracts. Fifth, the potential for significantly higher yields compared to traditional finance. While traditional banks offer 0.1% to 2% on savings accounts, DeFi protocols have offered 5% to 50% or higher on stablecoins through lending, liquidity provision, and yield farming strategies. But, and this is critical, higher yields always come with higher risks. Nothing is free, and every return must be evaluated against the risk you're taking. Let's break down the DeFi ecosystem into its core categories so you understand what actually exists and how it works. First, decentralized exchanges called DEX. Examples include Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, and Curve Finance. Their function is to let you swap tokens peer-to-peer without a centralized authority controlling the exchange. The key innovation is liquidity pools instead of traditional order books. Users supply token pairs to pools and earn trading fees automatically. How it works. If you want to trade ETH for USDC, you interact with a smart contract that pulls from a liquidity pool of ETH and USDC, executes your trade using an automated market maker algorithm, and the pool providers earn a percentage of your trading fee. Pro tip, always check liquidity depth before trading. Shallow liquidity pools create high slippage risk where you get much worse prices than expected. Second, lending and borrowing protocols. Examples, Aave, Compound, and MakerDAO. Function: lend your crypto assets to earn interest or borrow against your crypto collateral without selling it. The key is over-collateralization. You must deposit more value than you borrow to protect lenders from default risk. For example, you deposit $10,000 worth of ETH and can borrow up to $7,000 in stablecoins. Why this matters? It opens financial leverage and liquidity without traditional banks, credit checks, or lengthy approval processes. Third, yield farming and liquidity mining. This is where you provide liquidity to protocols and earn rewards, often paid in the protocol's native governance token. Examples include providing liquidity on Curve Finance, SushiSwap incentive programs, or staking on various DeFi platforms. The risk is impermanent loss, where price divergence between your deposited tokens can reduce your profits compared to simply holding, and smart contract vulnerabilities that could lead to total loss. Start small, understand the mechanisms, and diversify across multiple protocols. Fourth, stablecoins, which are the backbone of DeFi. Examples: USDC, DAI, USDT, and BUSD. Function: crypto assets pegged to fiat currencies, usually the US dollar, providing stability in a volatile market. Their role: stablecoins are the base currency for lending, trading, yield farming, and moving value without volatility. Tip: always check the reserves and backing mechanisms. USDC is backed by dollar reserves held by regulated institutions. DAI is algorithmically backed by crypto collateral. USDT has had transparency concerns historically. Fifth, derivatives and synthetic assets. Platforms like Synthetix, DYDX, and GMX. Function: trade synthetic assets that mirror real-world assets like stocks, commodities, indices, or other crypto with leverage. Risk: these are highly leveraged products where you can lose more than your initial investment. Use cases include hedging existing positions or speculating on price movements without owning the underlying asset. Now we need to talk about the risks, because this is where most newcomers get hurt. DeFi is powerful, but it's also dangerous if you don't understand what you're doing. Risk number 1: smart contract bugs. All DeFi protocols run on code written by humans, and humans make mistakes. Bugs in smart contracts can lead to catastrophic losses. Real example, the BZX exploit in 2020, where attackers drained over $8 million by exploiting a flash loan vulnerability. Protection: Only use protocols that have been audited by reputable firms like Trail of Bits, OpenZeppelin, or CertiK. Start with small amounts to test. Diversify across multiple protocols so one failure doesn't wipe you out. Risk number 2. Rug pulls and exit scams. New DeFi tokens and protocols sometimes disappear overnight with all user funds. This usually happens on small dexes or new yield farming projects promising unrealistic returns. Protection: check if liquidity is locked and for how long. Research the team's transparency and track record. Avoid any protocol promising 1000% APY or other unrealistic yields. If it sounds too good to be true, it absolutely is. Risk number 3, impermanent loss. When you provide liquidity to a DEX, you're exposed to price changes between the two tokens in the pair. If prices diverge significantly, you can end up with less value than if you had simply held the tokens. Protection: use stablecoin pairs like USDC DAI for minimal impermanent loss. Calculate whether the trading fees you earn outweigh potential impermanent loss. Track your positions carefully. Risk number 4, hacks and exploits. DeFi protocols are prime targets for sophisticated hackers. Real example: the Poly network hack in 2021, where over $600 million was stolen through a cross-chain bridge exploit. Protection: use only well-established platforms with proven security track records. Store significant funds in hardware wallets, not hot wallets connected to DeFi protocols 24/7. Consider using insurance protocols like Nexus Mutual that protect against smart contract failures. Risk number 5, regulatory uncertainty. DeFi exists in a legal gray area in many jurisdictions. Governments worldwide are developing regulations, and some may ban or restrict certain DeFi activities. Some protocols could be deemed illegal securities. Tax reporting can be extremely complex. Protection: stay informed about regulations in your jurisdiction. Keep detailed records of all transactions for tax purposes. Avoid protocols that explicitly violate known laws. Consider consulting with a crypto-savvy accountant or legal advisor. Here's how to approach DeFi like a professional instead of a gambler. Step 1. Start extremely small. Only invest amounts you can completely afford to lose while you're learning. Treat your first interactions as paid education. Step 2. Deep research before depositing anything. Understand how the protocol works, read the documentation, verify the team's credentials, check multiple audits if available, and read community discussions on Reddit, Discord, or Twitter to see what real users are experiencing. Step 3. Diversify relentlessly. Never put all your funds into one protocol, one type of yield strategy, or one blockchain. Spread risk across multiple platforms and strategies. Step 4. Track everything meticulously. Use portfolio tracking tools like Zapper, DBank, or Zerion that show all your DeFi positions across multiple blockchains in one dashboard. Step 5. Secure your private keys properly. Use hardware wallets like Ledger or Trezor for significant holdings. Never store large amounts in hot wallets that are constantly connected to DeFi protocols. Enable all available security features. Step 6. Leverage community knowledge. Join protocol-specific Discord servers or Telegram groups. Follow reputable DeFi analysts on Twitter. Read audit reports even if you don't understand all the technical details. Learn from others' mistakes. Step 7. Avoid hype-driven decisions. Don't chase absurdly high yields just because everyone is talking about a new protocol. If something promises 5,000% APY, run the other direction. Step 8. Start with stablecoins. Before risking volatile assets like ETH or BTC, experiment with lending, borrowing, and providing liquidity using stablecoins like USDC or DAI. This lets you learn the mechanics without extreme price risk. Let's talk about where DeFi is heading, because this space is evolving incredibly fast. Layer 2 scaling solutions like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon are making DeFi dramatically cheaper and faster by processing transactions off the main Ethereum chain while maintaining security. Cross-chain interoperability is improving. Protocols are being built that work across Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, and other blockchains seamlessly, increasing liquidity and user access. Tokenization of real-world assets is beginning. Companies are experimenting with putting stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, and other traditional assets on blockchains as DeFi-compatible tokens. Institutional adoption is accelerating. Traditional financial institutions, hedge funds, and asset managers are starting to interact with DeFi protocols, bringing massive liquidity and legitimacy. Improved user experience is coming. The current DeFi interfaces are complex and intimidating for average users. New projects are building simplified, user-friendly interfaces that abstract away the technical complexity. Regulatory frameworks are being developed. While this might seem negative, clear regulations actually help by giving institutional players confidence to participate and protecting retail users from scams. This is why early education matters so much. DeFi isn't just a speculative trend or a passing fad, it's the foundation layer of the future financial system. The earlier you understand how it works, the better positioned you'll be to take advantage of opportunities and avoid costly mistakes. So, there you have it. DeFi explained from the ground up what it is, why it matters, how the major protocols work, the real risks you face, and how to approach it like a smart, informed investor instead of a gambler. This is one of the most important innovations in crypto, and understanding it gives you a massive advantage. Tomorrow we continue with day 6, where we dive into NFTs beyond the hype, what actually gives them value, and how to evaluate NFT projects intelligently. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment below telling me which DeFi protocol you want me to break down in detail next. I read every comment and I'll use your suggestions for future videos. Stay safe, stay smart, stay educated, and I'll see you in the next one.